pulls you under isn't always trying to drown you. The tidal undertow begins at low, a current underneath the surface flow that no one sees from standing on the shore. But those who wade deep enough feel more than water, feel the pull of something old. A tidal undertow, both warm and cold, moving at the frequency of dark. A liquid groove that leaves its watermark. The undertow knows where it needs to go, deeper than the surface ever shows. Tidal undertow, pulling below, carrying everything the surface doesn't know. Not a threat, just depth, demanding its due. Tidal undertow, and I'm going through. The base is tidal in its push and pull, each bar arriving fuller than the full before it. Tidal undertow and sound, a current moving circular and round beneath the mix, beneath the melody. The tidal undertow, a frequency that holds the listener the way the sea holds everything that trusts its gravity. The tide moves without asking your consent. Tidal undertow on what it meant. Tidal undertow, pulling at the low, carrying everything the surface doesn't know. Not a threat, just depth, demanding its due. Tidal undertow, and I'm going through. I stop resisting what the tide decides. Stop fighting every current as it slides beneath my feet and pulls toward the deep. The tidal undertow is mine to keep, not mine to mess with, not mine to outswim, just mine to feel along the darkened rim of the hour. Tidal and complete, the undertow and I have finally met. nothing more. The most temporary structures are sometimes the most beautiful. Smoke architecture rising from the low, a structure built from what the exhales know about impermanence. Each column wide, the narrowing then gone and back inside the air that made it. Smoke architecture built and dissolved without the weight of guilt or loss. It simply was and then was not. Smoke architecture, everything I've got. The smoke builds what the solid never could. The structure of the temporary good. Smoke architecture rising in the room. A cathedral built from nothing but the gloom. And exhalation real until it's not. Smoke architecture, the most that I've got. The music builds like smoke through the dark air. Each note a column rising, each a stair that leads somewhere above the named and fixed, where smoke architecture can be mixed with frequency until the two become one temporary structure, one low hum of a building made from bass and breath. Smoke architecture, life before the death of every note. The temporary holds a different weight. Smoke architecture, patient at the gate. Smoke architecture rising in the room. A cathedral built from nothing but the gloom. And exhalation real until it's not. Smoke architecture, the most that I've got. What if all the structures worth inhabiting were made of smoke, the exhibiting of permanence, a kind of lie we tell to make the temporary hard to sell as beautiful. But smoke architecture knows that what dissolves is what most truly glows in the moment of its being. Oh, and why smoke architecture, nothing left to hide. Smoke has spread across the ceiling now, a flat gray sky inside the room. Somehow smoke architecture at its widest reach, before the ventilation starts to leach it out into the ordinary air. Smoke architecture almost everywhere, and then not anywhere, dissolved and gone into the dark. The music carries on. Smoke clears, but the architecture stays, impressed upon the memory for days. A temporary structure, real and true. Smoke architecture, built from me and you. The sea reveals its truest self when it pulls back. Low tide gospel of the 4 a.m., the water pulling back to show the hem of what was always underneath the surface. The low tide giving everything a purpose that the high water kept from being seen. Low tide gospel, honest and serene, revealing what the depth was always hiding, in plain sight beneath the waves residing. The low tide reads like scripture in the sand. Low tide gospel, everything as planned. Low tide gospel, water pulling back, revealing all the truth along the track of the shoreline. What was hidden shown. Low tide gospel, finally alone. The bass pulls back like tide, and still the groove holds in what remains. The low tide move of music when the mix drips to the bone of what was always there beneath the tone of everything added. Low tide gospel pure, the most essential frequency, the cure for everything that high tide covers up. Low tide gospel in the empty cup, pull everything away until the real. Low tide gospel, only what we feel. Low tide gospel, water pulling back, revealing all the truth along the track of the shoreline. What was hidden shown. Low tide gospel, finally alone. The low tide is a kind of honesty that only comes with letting the sea pull back from its own performance of the deep. gospel, the truth that the high keeps from showing everything the water hid beneath its surface, everything it did to cover low tide gospel in the dark, the revealed shore, the most essential mark. And covers what it showed. Low tide gospel back beneath its coat of water, but the revelation stays. Low tide gospel carrying through the days. Some things only become luminous in the deepest dark. Loose and glowing in the high atmosphere, the almost morning sky, a light that only forms where cold is most extreme. The noctilucent ghost of luminescence at the edge of space, a glow that daylight wouldn't leave a trace of, only visible in the deepest night. Noctilucent, the most unlikely light, the coldest altitude produces glow. Noctilucent, only dark will show. Noctilucent, luminous and rare, a glow that only forms in the coldest air, invisible until the dark is complete. Noctilucent, the underground's heartbeat. The groove is noctilucent in this way, a luminescence that the light of day would drown completely, only in the deep of 4 a.m. when everything's asleep. Does the frequency begin to glow? Noctilucent in the bass and low, a light the sun would never let you see. Noctilucent, the night's own frequency, the rarest light required say I needed the extreme, the cold, the high altitude of the 4 a.m. sky. Knocked lucent, I glow when I am most alone and dark, the luminescent ghost. Noctilucent clouds dissolve at dawn, their luminescence borrowed and then gone back into the ordinary sky that has no need for the extraordinary why of glowing in the cold and dark and high of the atmosphere. Noctilucent, goodbye until the next deep night provides the right conditions for the most unlikely light. The glow fades into the brightening air, noctilucent, dissolving everywhere. But those who saw it carry it inside. Noctilucent, the light that learned to hide. The rest between the notes, a low bearing, every silence in the groove worth wearing, as deliberately as any sound. The negative space where the real is found, not in the bass note, but the breath around it, not in the melody, what surrounds it. Negative space, the architecture soul, the empty parts that make the music whole. The space between is never empty air. Negative space is everything still there. Negative space, the shape of what's not played, the silence that the careful groove has made, more present than the notes that fill the bar. Negative spaces where the deep things are. The pursuit who knows to leave the gap, who lets the empty measure fill the map with something only listeners provide, their own frequency moving inside the negative space, a collaboration between the music and the imagination of whoever's listening at this hour. Negative space, returning all the power. What isn't there is also a design. negative space, the shape of what's not played, the silence that the careful groove has made, more present than the notes that fill the bar. Negative spaces where the deep things are. I've been filling every silence out of fear. That empty meant that nothing good was here. The negative space taught me in this slow that what you leave unplayed is how you show the depth beneath the surface of the sound. The negative space is where I'm finally found, not in the notes I played, but in the room I left between them, breathing in the gloom. The track is mostly space if you listen right. The notes are just the edges of the night. The negative space, the actual terrain, where all the feeling leaves between the strain of sound and sound. The gap that held us still. The negative space, the groove was built to fill with your own frequency, your own idea. Negative space was always waiting there. The track ends and the negative space remains, running quiet through the night's remains. What wasn't played still shapes the room somehow. Negative space, the only space right now. Nothing in music has ever waited longer or asked for less. The patience of the bass is not a virtue. It's a physics, the low end will not hurt you. With impatience will not rush the bar, will not arrive before the beat's avatar of the right moment. The patience of bass is structural, it holds the entire space together by arriving when it must. The patience of bass, the underground's trust. The lowest frequency was always slow. The patience of the bass is what we know. The patience of bass, unhurried in the low, playing the same note because the note says so. Never early, never asking for more. The patience of bass, what the underground's for. proceeds from knowing that the low end has the floor. No other frequency needs more. patience of the night, expressed in wavelengths wide enough to feel in the chest before the ears reveal the note. What moves the slowest teaches patience best. The bass is the instructor of the rest. The patience of bass, unhurried in the low, playing the same note because the note says so. Never early, never asking for more. The patience of bass, what the underground's for. I wanna learn from the bass what patience means, not the forced kind, not patience that convenes only when the urgent thing is done, but the structural patience of the one note held for exactly what it takes to move through bodies, through the gives and takes of a room. The patience of the low, the bass was always teaching this below. On the patience of its bass, the last note holding open all the space around itself until the room receives the full vibration, until the night believes the note is finished and the silence comes, not empty but still resonant. The sums of all the bass patience accumulated into the quiet, earned and understated. The last low note dissolves into the air. The patience of the bass, still everywhere, in the body that received it, wide and slow. The patience of bass, the only truth